Laura here from Get Organized HQ, and today we're going to talk about decluttering, but not the typical stuff you think of when you think about decluttering. If you're interested in that, I have tons of videos about how to decide what to declutter, decluttering advice, checklists, all of that, but I want to talk about what to do with the stuff you have decided to declutter, especially whether or not you should just pass it along or whether you should sell it and try to make a little extra money. So once you've decided to get rid of an item, there's really 4 things that you can do with it. Number 1, you could literally trash it or possibly throw it in your recycle bin if it's recyclable. But I mean, you're not giving this to anyone else, you're just trashing it. This would be like literal trash or things that are just broken or dirty or that no one else would want trash them. That's pretty simple, straightforward. Like an old shoe with holes in it or something like that. You wouldn't pass it on, you'd throw it in the trash. Next, you have the category of donating items. So like dropping them off somewhere at like Goodwill, Salvation Army, places like that where they're going to resell it and use the profits for a charitable cause. And those are pretty simple. You can either drop those off or you can schedule a pickup in a lot of cases to come to your house and just take the items for you. The third thing you can do is pass the items on to someone you know personally. And this feels a lot more exciting to me than just giving them to Goodwill. If I know of someone who could use the items and enjoy them, I will say it can take a little bit more effort than Goodwill, especially if you're really trying to find the proper home for every single item. So I wouldn't try to farm out every item I have. Plus, I don't want to pass on my clutter to someone who isn't interested in it. But an example of this would be like clothing that my daughter outgrows. She has a cousin that's a couple years younger, so I'm going to pass that on to her because I know she would really enjoy that clothing and be able to use it and be able to use it fairly soon. So I pass that on to her. But I'm definitely not taking every little item I declutter and asking all 20 of my friends if they want it. I'm only passing it on if like I pick something up and I'm like, this would be perfect for so-and-so, or I remember so-and-so saying that they want something. So that's the third thing you can do. Still pretty easy. Could get a little bit harder than dropping them off at somewhere like Goodwill. And then the fourth thing you can do with your clutter is sell it to make a little bit of extra money. Now this sounds like a great option. I mean, who wouldn't want some extra money for stuff that you're going to get rid of anyway? But I want to caution you here. While I think some people have great success selling their items, there's a few things that you need to stop and consider. First of all, selling your items is going to be extra work no matter what. And in some cases, a decent bit of extra work. So I don't want you to forget about the work that will be involved in selling your items. So most of us are going to do this online. A yard sale might be another option, or a garage sale, depending on where in the country you live. I think some people even call them rummage sales, but a sale like that would be an option. Otherwise, you're going to sell it online on like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, somewhere like that. I would recommend Facebook Marketplace is a good place. I mean, you can even sell things on eBay, but you're gonna have to take a photo of that item. And ideally, if you want top dollar, it's gonna have to be like a nice looking photo that makes the item look appealing. You're gonna have to write a description of it. You're gonna have to get it posted wherever you're gonna post it, and then you're gonna have to answer questions. You would be surprised, even for fairly inexpensive items, how many questions you'll get. Is it still available? Even if you say in your post that you're gonna like take it down when it's not available, is it this color? Is it that color? Is there anything wrong with it? Is there all of these things? Now, it would be wise to answer as many of those questions as you can in the description, but you're still going to get a lot. Then you're going to have to probably meet up with someone. Maybe they want to meet up in a neutral location that's near you. Maybe you'll have them come to your house, but you're going to have to set aside some time to do that. And let me tell you from personal experience of selling things on places like Facebook Marketplace, no-shows are incredibly common. And I've talked to other people who have sold on Facebook Marketplace as well. And you'll just have a lot of people who say, yeah, I'm going to come tomorrow at 2 to pick that thing up. They never show up. You never hear from them again. Now, you can just continue listing the items. And what a lot of people do, and I would recommend this, is you don't actually take it off until you've sold it. So it's first come, first served in most cases because of how many no-shows there are. But again, you have to set aside more time. So don't discount the amount of time and effort that goes into it. So there's two things I want you to consider here. First of all, consider the value of your time. How much time roughly is it going to take you? I would say if you work in batches, it's going to take you a little less time, or you could focus on it for just a couple weeks and not be like constantly dealing with selling things and requests and meeting people. But if you do this, you're going to have to focus a lot of time on it. And could you be doing something better with your time? And another way that I like to look at this is for all the trouble that you are going to need to take and all the time you're going to need to take, how much would you be willing to pay someone to take that off your plate? Like, I would be willing to pay someone to take photos, to write the descriptions, to interact with the people, to meet up with the people. If you're willing to pay more than what you're going to make to sell the item, you should just donate it. It's not worth the effort. So consider the effort. Secondly, consider how much this item is actually going to bring and whether or not you can realistically sell it. A lot of times, we are not very good at valuing our own items, at determining how much they're actually worth, which, side note, they're worth exactly what someone will pay for them. And a lot of times we have emotional attachments, or maybe we bought something and it was like $100, brand new. And we know we never used it. Maybe we never took it out of the package, maybe we did, but we know we never really used it. So in our mind, okay, it shouldn't cost quite as much as what we paid for it, but it should cost like $70 because it's really new and it's a great item. No one's gonna pay that. They might pay $50, $20. So really think about what that item is worth. The easiest way to do this is just go online, search your Facebook Marketplace and see at least what people have them listed for. Now, that doesn't mean that someone's going to pay what someone is asking, but it'll at least give you some kind of idea. On eBay, if you're looking to sell there, or you can search completed listings and see what things have sold for. And so that'll give you some kind of idea of what things are worth. And I will just tell you, things that are not worth a whole lot is adult clothing. I've tried to sell at yard sales, Facebook Marketplace. People tend to not pay a lot for that unless it is like in excellent condition and truly like brand name. Kids clothing, people need a little bit more, and so you can sell like a big batch, but again, you're not going to get a ton for it. Toys, unless they're like highly sought after, are generally, you could probably sell them. I mean, people are looking for those, but you're not going to get a whole lot for them. So think about what you're likely to get for them. I also want to mention, if you have electronics, those can do a little bit better. They tend to hold their value a little bit more, and they're very straightforward. Like, people know what that is and what it's worth, especially if they're in good working condition. If you've saved the box, like, even better, that makes it seem even more like they're getting something in good condition, which, I mean, if I am selling something that's not working, I clearly state that in the listing. You know, if somebody just wants it for parts or they think they can fix it or something like that. But if you have electronics, see if you might be able to trade them in. So I have a lot of Apple products. I can just trade them in right on the website, and they'll give me store credit for that. And it's very, very quick and easy. Another option would be Amazon has a trade-in program for like phones, computers, Best Buy as well. And these are pretty straightforward, quick, easy, not a lot of hassle. So I think those are often worth the effort of trading them in. So we talked about thinking about how much time and effort it's going to require to sell items, and if that is really worth it. We talked about making sure that things are really worth as much as you think they are, so someone's actually going to buy them and pay money for them. And the last thing I want you to consider is, even if you think, okay, it's worth the time and effort, yes, these are truly like worth enough, you know, someone's going to pay for them, are you really going to do it? And I know for myself personally, I have sold things, but I have also done the thing where I'm like, these are kind of valuable. I think I'm gonna sell these on Facebook Marketplace. So like, I put them in a bin to sell, and a month goes by, and 2 months go by, and 3 months, and 6 months, and a year, and 2, and 3, and then I donate them. Because I realize okay, they might be worth $20 if I'm lucky, and I'm not willing to do this. So if you are choosing to sell what you're getting rid of, you must put a time limit on it. Like write it on the box, put a reminder in your phone and say, if I have not listed these items before X date, they're gonna go. I'm gonna donate them. Give yourself a limit, because if you do that, you might even get motivated to post them and sell them. But if you just kind of leave it open-ended, it's gonna be really hard to do that. Another way you can sell items is at a garage sale, yard sale, rummage sale, whatever you wanna call it. And I have done several of these, so they are a good, viable option for selling items. But I wanna tell you a couple of things. First of all, gonna be a lot of work. Second of all, going to be even more work if you want to do the best you possibly can. And thirdly, very rarely do I hear of people just making tons on these things. So consider if it's really worth it to put in that much work, and if you're really going to do it. That is the key. So if you know specifically, this is the date I'm having a yard sale and I'm really truly doing it, I call it yard sale, side note, then go ahead. Or if you have a community sale and you have a date for that and you're going to participate in that, that's fine. Or if you have a friend who said, I'm having one, you can contribute things if you want, and there's a date, that's fine. But if it's just an open-ended, I might sell these at a yard sale someday, that's the same as holding on to things because you might use them someday. Get rid of it. If you're going to have a yard sale, you must have a specific date planned for that yard sale and really follow through with it. Now, if you're interested in doing that, I have an entire video that's been fairly popular on how I hosted a very organized yard sale. So go ahead and check that out for some tips on running your yard sale or garage sale. But I want you to make sure that you're really, truly going to follow through. And I want to say the last time I did this was probably 3 to 4 years ago, and I haven't done it since for a couple of reasons. But the main one is because it's a lot of work and I just don't have as much stuff as I did then. That was when I was getting rid of like all my baby and kids clothes that I was saving in case we had more kids. And when I realized that wasn't going to happen, there was a lot of stuff I needed to get rid of, and baby kid stuff sells pretty well at yard sales. So that's when I did it. But since then we haven't had as much stuff, and I haven't wanted to go through all of that effort, and we haven't lived in a location that would be as good for people driving by, and location is critical for those kind of sales. And if you do want that sale and you don't have a great location, see if you have a friend that has a location that's really central, that people drive by, that they're going to see the signs, and you can really make that successful. And then after your yard sale, never, never, never bring stuff back into the house. It goes straight into boxes and you drive it straight to the donation center. You never see it again. It's gone. So any money you get from it is just an extra bonus. It's gravy. It's fantastic, but it's not coming back in. That's the way to do a yard sale successfully. And again, check out that video if you want all the details, specific details of setting one up. So I hope this has helped give you some things to think about and helped you consider what option might be right for you, whether you want to trash the item, give it to a friend, donate it to a donation place, or sell it either on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, or a yard sale. And if you're looking for some help deciding what to declutter, people have loved my reverse decluttering method. So go ahead and check out that video. I've got the link right down below for you, and maybe it'll help give you some ideas on some things that you can declutter.